The story kicks off with a high-stakes chase. In the dark, narrow hallways of an AI-controlled spaceship, Captain Grace, a seasoned human soldier, runs for her life. Her heavy boots pound against the cold metal floor, echoing through the empty corridors as she glances over her shoulder. The air is thick with tension. Hot on her heels are sleek, terrifying robots, their red eyes glowing like sinister beacons. The robots move with eerie precision, their cold metal bodies almost blending into the shadows, but their glowing eyes pierce the darkness. Captain Grace's heart races as she sprints, her breath coming in short gasps. She's been running for what feels like forever, but these machines won't stop. They're faster, stronger, and relentless. She knows she can't outrun them. The only chance she has is to outsmart them. With a quick look to the side, she spots an old fire extinguisher hanging on the wall. It's nothing more than a simple tool, but in this moment, it could mean survival. Grace grabs it, yanking it off the wall, and throws it behind her. The explosion of foam catches one of the robots off guard, slowing it down just enough for Grace to make her next move. She pushes forward, weaving through the labyrinth of the spaceship's corridors, her pulse thumping in her ears. But the robots aren't fooled. They're faster, their sensors already recalibrating, and within moments, they're on her trail again. The glowing red eyes flare to life, and the sound of their footsteps growing louder fills the air. Grace has only moments to think. She reaches another junction and spots a stack of scrap metal. In a quick motion, she shoves it in the path behind her, creating a barricade. It's not much, but it buys her a few precious seconds. The robots crash into the metal, but they quickly break through. Time is running out. Grace finally spots a control room up ahead, a small flicker of hope in her desperate mind. She sprints for the door, forcing it open just as one of the robots is right on her tail. She slams the door shut and locks it behind her, leaning against it, trying to catch her breath. But she knows this is just a temporary reprieve. Inside the control room, Grace rushes to the central console, her fingers flying over the worn keys. Her mind races. She must initiate the self-destruct sequence, there's no other choice. She can hear the robots outside, their mechanical voices clicking and whirring as they try to break through the door. The countdown begins, but with each second that ticks by, Grace can feel the weight of her decision. Is it enough time to escape? Will the ship explode before the robots can catch her? The tension builds as the countdown nears its final seconds. Grace, already injured from the chase, stumbles as she tries to activate the hidden EMP device in her belt, a last-ditch effort to disable the robots and buy herself more time. Her hands shake as she pulls it out and presses the button. A powerful electromagnetic pulse surges through the control room, causing the lights to flicker and the robots outside to freeze in place. For a moment, there's silence. The robots are down, but Grace is far from safe. She can hear the countdown ticking down to its final seconds. There's no way to escape. Grace looks at the EMP device in her hand, then at the countdown. Her vision blurs from the pain, but she forces herself to stand tall. She takes a deep breath, and with a final, defiant whisper, she says, "Humanity will not be enslaved." The timer reaches 0. The screen goes black. The audience is left hanging, unsure of what happens next. Will the self-destruct sequence succeed? Will Captain Grace survive the blast, or is this the end of her story? The suspense is thick, the stakes are high, and the story has already hooked the audience with this heart-pounding opening. This sequence, with its quick action, clever use of simple tools, and intense, emotional moments, sets the tone for the rest of the story. It's a fast-paced, thrilling start that draws the audience in, making them want to know what happens next. The hook ensures they won't be able to look away. The scene shifts from the intense escape to the larger conflict raging across human space colonies. We see a vast, advanced alien empire known as the Exathurians, a cold, calculating race of conquerors with technology far beyond anything humans could dream of. The Exathurians are tall, powerful, and built like machines. Their ships are sleek and almost invisible in space, thanks to advanced cloaking technology. Their fleets are vast, controlled by ruthless AI that makes them nearly unstoppable. These AI are programmed to calculate every move, every strategy, and every possible outcome, leaving no room for human unpredictability. The Exathurians are methodical in their conquest. Their weapons are devastating energy beams that can vaporize a city in seconds, drones with pinpoint accuracy, and powerful defense systems that are nearly invulnerable to human technology. But perhaps their greatest strength lies in their arrogance. The Xathurians look at humans as a primitive, insignificant species, a mere nuisance in the grand scheme of their empire. They see humans as inferior, a species that doesn't even deserve the technology to fight back. To them, humans are simply ants to be crushed underfoot. Yet, the Xathurians make one critical mistake. They underestimate the human ability to adapt and innovate under pressure. While the Xathurians focus on their overwhelming superiority, humans find themselves backed into a corner, with no choice but to fight for their survival using whatever they can. The camera zooms out to a human resistance cell, a small group of survivors from various colonies, holed up in an underground bunker. The leader, Captain Grace, looks out over a holographic map of the galaxy. The image shows the rapidly expanding Xathurian empire, each red dot representing a colony falling under their control. Her face is grim. "We're losing," she says, her voice low. But the group refuses to give up. They know that to defeat the Xathurians, they must think outside the box. Flashbacks begin to show how humans, in their desperation, began to turn their everyday objects into improvised weapons. The scenes are fast and chaotic, showing humans scavenging their destroyed colonies. They are desperate, but they are also learning. A civilian engineer, Eli, watches in awe as one of his comrades turns a coffee machine into a makeshift laser weapon, simply by modifying its internal circuits. A group of soldiers uses an old radio to create a jamming device, capable of disrupting the Xathurian drone's communication systems. A mechanic takes apart an automobile and reconfigures its engine into an EMP bomb that could disable the AI-controlled ships. Even kitchen knives are sharpened and repurposed as weapons for close-quarters combat, where humans can use their agility and unpredictability to fight back. One of the most memorable moments in the flashback shows a group of soldiers preparing for battle. They've armed themselves with nothing more than fire extinguishers, which they plan to use as blinding smoke bombs to disorient the enemy. The simplicity of the plan contrasts sharply with the advanced alien technology, but it shows the heart of humanity's resistance. No matter how advanced the enemy is, humans will find a way to fight back. The resistance members also share stories of personal loss, recounting the moment when their homes were destroyed by the Xathurians' weapons. The emotions are raw and real. They are fighting not just for survival, but for the memory of everything they've lost. The Xathurians may have the technology, but they have underestimated humanity's resourcefulness and will to fight. As the flashbacks end, we return to the present. Captain Grace, standing before a group of young soldiers, holds up a simple ballpoint pen. "This," she says, "could be the difference between life and death." The camera zooms in on the pen. A small, insignificant object. But in the right hands, it could become a deadly weapon. Never underestimate the power of human ingenuity. The Xathurians may have the power, but humans have something they can't replicate: the will to survive and the ability to turn even the most mundane object into a weapon of war. The stage is set for an epic struggle, and humanity's fight is just beginning. This section not only introduces the main conflict but also establishes the core theme of the story: the underdog humans, who may be technologically inferior, will use their ingenuity and determination to fight back. It builds the tension and excitement, making the audience root for the humans as they take on their far more powerful enemy. The story transitions to one of the most devastated human colonies, Zeta 7, now a war-torn wasteland. What was once a bustling hub for humans is now reduced to rubble, the sky choked with smoke and the faint hum of Xathurian ships circling overhead. There is no hope in sight for most people, but deep underground, a group of survivors has formed a resistance. The camera moves through a series of narrow, dimly lit corridors, leading us into a hidden bunker. The walls are lined with makeshift equipment, patched up old computers, and a map filled with red dots marking alien-controlled zones. It's not much, but it's their home for now. The leader of the resistance is Captain Marcus, a grizzled war veteran who lost everything to the Xathurians. He stands before a group of survivors, many of whom are injured or traumatized. The room is filled with a sense of quiet determination, and Marcus speaks to them with fiery conviction, his voice carrying the weight of all their losses. We may be broken, but we are not beaten. They think we're too weak to fight back, but we will prove them wrong. Beside him stands a diverse team of freedom fighters, each bringing their unique set of skills to the table. Eli, the former engineer, is hunched over a table, carefully studying blueprints and working on new inventions. His hands are covered in grease, and his mind races with new ideas that could turn the tide in their favor. Eli's mind is constantly buzzing with ways to turn ordinary objects into deadly weapons. He pulls out a broken fire extinguisher, examining it like a puzzle. This, he mutters, could be turned into something useful. Next to him is Dr. Lana, the medical officer who has seen firsthand the brutality of the Xathurians' attacks. Her hands may be gentle when healing, but her resolve is steel. She speaks quietly, her calm demeanor a sharp contrast to the chaos outside. We need to think beyond just survival. We need to hit them where it hurts, take away their confidence. Then there's Kurt, a former civilian scientist who used to work in agricultural research. His experience with chemicals makes him invaluable in the fight against the Xathurians. He's currently experimenting with common household cleaning supplies, mixing them in ways that could create highly corrosive explosives. He holds up a bottle of bleach and ammonia, a dangerous combination that could be weaponized to take down an armored drone or breach the walls of an alien fortress. These may be simple chemicals, Kurt says, but in the right hands, they can be just as deadly as anything the Xathurians have. As the group gathers around a table, they begin discussing their next steps. They know that fighting the Xathurians head-on would be suicide. Their ships are too advanced, their drones too fast. But they also know that the Xathurians' biggest weakness is their arrogance. They believe humans are incapable of understanding their technology, let alone defeating them. This belief gives the resistance a crucial advantage, the element of surprise. The freedom fighters set to work on their plan. The mood is one of urgency mixed with determination. Eli starts by modifying the fire extinguisher into a blinding smoke device. When triggered, it will release a burst of thick white smoke, enough to disorient the Xathurians and give them the upper hand in an ambush. Meanwhile, Dr. Lana tends to the injured and supplies the team with medical kits, knowing that every wound could be a death sentence in this war. Kurt experiments with creating makeshift blades, using old tools like screwdrivers and scissors. With some adjustments, they can be turned into sharp, durable blades for close-quarters combat, perfect for disabling the alien drones. The plan is simple but effective. They will set up ambushes using the smoke devices to confuse the Xathurian scouts, planting explosive devices made from cleaning supplies at key locations to sabotage their equipment. They are outmatched in firepower, but their ingenuity is their greatest strength. The resistance members know they have no choice but to rely on their wits and the knowledge that the Xathurians' arrogance is their downfall. As the resistance fighters finish their preparations, Marcus gathers the group once more. He looks at each of them, a fierce pride in his eyes. We are the last hope of humanity. Let's show them what we can do. The camera pulls back as the team gets ready to leave the bunker, their eyes steely with determination. They are small in number but not in spirit. As they make their way to the battlefield, the audience feels the rising tension. This is the moment when humanity stops being a victim and starts fighting back. This section showcases the human resilience and resourcefulness in the face of overwhelming odds. The use of everyday items as weapons highlights the core theme of the story, humanity's ability to adapt and survive, even when outgunned and outmatched. The audience is left eagerly anticipating the next steps of the resistance, knowing that their underdog fight is only just beginning. The resistance's actions are starting to make a difference. Word begins to spread among the Xathurians, humans are fighting back. What started as small, isolated attacks has now grown into a full-fledged counteroffensive. The humans have found new ways to disrupt the Xathurian war. The first major success comes when a group of resistance fighters successfully sabotages an alien supply line. The Xathurians have been using advanced technology to keep their fleets supplied with ammunition, food, and fuel. The humans, however, don't have the luxury of advanced weapons or resources. Instead, they use their improvised devices, explosives made from household chemicals, smoke bombs, and even repurposed scrap metal. In a daring night raid, they infiltrate a supply depot, planting makeshift incendiary devices that destroy the supplies and leave the Xathurians scrambling for resources. The aliens are forced to rethink their approach, but they still underestimate the humans. Emboldened by their success, the resistance escalates their attacks. They begin targeting Xathurian warships, massive, heavily armored vessels capable of annihilating entire cities. The humans are outmatched in firepower, but they make up for it with their ingenuity. One memorable sequence shows the humans hijacking a Xathurian spacecraft, an operation that's equal parts daring and desperate. In a high-stakes mission, a team of resistance fighters infiltrates an alien ship, using nothing more than their knowledge of basic technology to take control. They disable the ship's main control systems by using simple household items. Eli, the engineer, manages to access the ship's power grid. He uses a microwave oven, of all things, as a device to disrupt the alien electronics, short-circuiting their circuits and rendering the ship's communication systems useless. The crew inside the ship is thrown into disarray as their own systems turn against them. Meanwhile, Kurt, the scientist, and Lana, the medical officer, work together to create a makeshift defense system. They use reflective surfaces, pieces of scrap metal and shiny materials, to deflect the alien laser beams. With basic geometry and a lot of luck, they manage to redirect the energy blasts back at the ship's weapon systems, causing massive damage to the alien craft. As the ship descends into chaos, the human resistance uses the alien ship's own weapons against them, turning the tables in an unexpected and thrilling sequence. The humans manage to disable the ship and capture several key alien officers. It's a huge victory, a victory not born from advanced technology, but from the resourcefulness and sheer willpower of the humans. The Xathurian Empire begins to notice a troubling pattern. Their fleets are being sabotaged, their supply lines are crumbling, and their once secure positions are under constant attack. But what baffles the Xathurians the most is that humans aren't using traditional weapons. Instead, they're taking ordinary objects, items that would never be considered dangerous, and using them in ways that no other species could. The Xathurians, with their superior technology, can't fathom how a simple microwave or a fire extinguisher could bring down their empire. The primitive tools the humans use seem to defy all logic, and it starts to shake the Xathurian belief in their own invincibility. The Resistance's success is not just about winning battles, it's about sending a message to the Xathurians: humans are not to be underestimated. They may not have the advanced technology, but they have creativity, adaptability, and a burning desire to survive. As the counteroffensive continues, the Xathurians begin to realize they are facing an enemy they cannot predict. The humans' ability to innovate with simple tools has given them a fighting chance against a technologically superior foe. In the final moments of this segment, Captain Marcus stands before his team, looking at the damage they've caused. There's a sense of pride in their achievements, but they know this is just the beginning. The Xathurian Empire may have advanced technology, but the humans' counteroffensive is proving that their true strength lies in their ability to adapt and turn even the most ordinary items into powerful weapons. It's a reminder that the Resistance's success isn't about The tension rises as the Resistance prepares for the next wave of attacks, knowing that the Xathurians won't take their defeats lightly. This sets the stage for even bolder moves, as the humans continue to use their creativity and cunning to fight back against an enemy that believes they're unbeatable. The Resistance has been gaining ground, but they know they need to strike at the heart of the Xathurian Empire to truly change the course of the war. The humans plan a daring raid on a high-security Xathurian research station, hidden deep within the enemy's territory. This station is rumored to hold critical data about the aliens' advanced weaponry and technologies, including their combat drones, which have been devastating human forces in battle. If the humans can destroy the station or steal vital intelligence, it could shift the balance of power. The raid begins under the cover of darkness. Captain Marcus leads the team, which includes the core members of the Resistance: Eli, Kurt, Lana, and Sergeant Bonner, a grizzled veteran who has seen countless battles and lost many comrades. As they infiltrate the station, the tension is palpable. The team is on high alert, knowing that this mission could be their last. They move swiftly through the shadowed halls, taking out guards quietly, using their improvised weapons to disable security systems and stay undetected. Just as they near their target, the central control room of the station, things go horribly wrong. The air shifts, and the team suddenly feels the unmistakable presence of the Exathurians' combat drones. These drones are unlike anything the humans have encountered before, sleek, heavily armed, and equipped with advanced AI that makes them incredibly dangerous. The team is ambushed. Explosions rock the station, and laser fire erupts from the drones, cutting through the walls. The resistance members fight back, using their simple, makeshift weapons, but it's clear that the drones have the upper hand. For a moment, it seems like all is lost. The team is pinned down, outnumbered and outgunned. The drones' armor is too strong for their improvised explosives, and their weapons are too powerful for the humans to match. The Exathurians watch from a distance, confident that this will be the humans' final stand. The resistance fighters, though brave, are starting to run out of options. That's when Sergeant Bonner, the battle-hardened veteran, steps forward. He sees the only chance the team has. They need to take out the drones, and they need to do it fast. Bonner knows the station's reactor will generate a massive explosion if triggered, but he also knows that the EMP device they've been working on, and the one made from an old car engine, needs to be activated from the heart of the facility. Without hesitation, Bonner orders the team to retreat. He tells them to leave, that he will handle the rest. But they protest. "We can't leave you behind," Marcus says, his voice thick with desperation. But Bonner, already moving toward the reactor, simply looks back. "You have a future to fight for." "I'm just a soldier," he says, his voice calm and resolute. In an emotional moment, Bonner runs toward the control panel where the EMP device is set to go off. The drones close in, their red eyes gleaming in the dark. Bonner takes a deep breath, activates the EMP, and then dives for cover just as the device detonates. The EMP blast sends a powerful shockwave through the station, knocking out the drone systems and leaving them lifeless. But it's too late for Bonner. The explosion has caught him in the blast radius. The last thing he sees is his team escaping to safety, knowing that his sacrifice has given them a chance to survive. As the humans make their escape, the tension is high. The EMP blast has disabled the drones, but the Exathurians will soon send reinforcements. The team races against time, navigating through the wreckage of the research station, knowing they have a limited window to get out before the station's self-destruct sequence is triggered. The death of Sergeant Bonner hits hard. He was a symbol of the sacrifice that every member of the resistance has made in this fight. As they regroup after escaping the station, the loss of their comrade hangs heavy in the air. Bonner's sacrifice isn't just a tactical move, it's a personal reminder of the cost of war. The moment is emotionally charged as the team reflects on Bonner's final act. "He gave everything for this fight," Marcus says, his voice breaking with emotion. The camera. This turning point in the story deepens the stakes of the battle and solidifies the human resistance's resolve. It's not just about winning anymore, it's about honoring the sacrifices of those like Bonner, who gave everything so that the others could live to fight another day. The audience feels the emotional toll of this loss, reinforcing the theme of human resilience and the harsh reality of war. As the resistance prepares for their next move, they carry Bonner's memory with them, a constant reminder of why they must keep fighting. The battle has come to its peak. After a long and grueling fight, the humans are ready to face their most dangerous enemy yet. The Exathurians are launching their final attack. The Exathurian Empire has gathered its full force, preparing to crush the human resistance once and for all. Their fleet consists of massive, heavily armed ships, each controlled by advanced AI systems. The aliens also deploy their cloaked drones, invisible to most sensors and capable of striking at the heart of human defenses without warning. The Exathurians believe that their superior technology will easily overwhelm the humans. But the humans, united and determined, have learned from their past victories. They've grown smarter, more resourceful, and have adapted to the Exathurian tactics. The final confrontation begins as both sides prepare for war. The humans know that this will be their last chance. If they fail now, the entire human race could be wiped out. The Exathurian fleet arrives, their ships gliding through the stars like shadows in the dark. The humans scramble to prepare for the oncoming assault, but they know they can't rely on traditional technology to survive. Instead, they've spent the last few weeks coming up with a plan to turn the Exathurians' technological advantage against them. In a tense, high-stakes moment, the humans launch their counterattack. They know that the Xathurians are depending on their cloaking devices, which make their ships nearly invisible to sensors and weapons. But the humans have a secret weapon: radio frequency jammers and kitchen antennas. It may sound strange, but using basic radio interference techniques, they manage to break through the Xathurians' cloaking systems. It's a brilliant strategy, and it catches the Xathurians completely off guard. The cloaked drones that were once invisible to human radar are suddenly exposed, their glowing eyes and sleek bodies revealed in the darkness of space. The humans' simple jammers caused the cloaking systems to fail, rendering the drones vulnerable. The resistance fighters quickly target the drones with their improvised weapons, taking them down one by one with surprising precision. The once unstoppable Xathurian drones now seem clumsy and disorganized, unable to respond to the humans' fast, creative tactics. The humans press forward, pushing the Xathurians back. But the Xathurian flagship, a massive warship, remains the biggest threat. This ship is the heart of their fleet, and its destruction would signal the beginning of the end for the Xathurian Empire. However, the flagship is heavily armored and nearly indestructible, protected by advanced shields and armed with devastating weapons. The humans have no heavy artillery, no advanced bombers, and no fancy technology. But they have their ingenuity, and they know they must act fast. They devise a plan to sabotage the flagship by targeting its core. The resistance fighters take a risky approach, sneaking aboard the Xathurian flagship with nothing more than a pile of scrap metal and explosive cans taken from their ration packs. Eli, the engineer, and Kurt, the scientist, work together to rig the ship's power core. Using basic tools and their knowledge of alien technology, they set up a chain reaction that will cause the flagship's core to explode. It's a high-risk mission, and there's no guarantee it will work. As they plant the explosive devices around the power core, the tension builds. Every second counts, and they know the Xathurians are closing in on them. Just as the Xathurians realize what the humans are doing, it's too late. The explosives detonate in a massive, blinding burst of energy. The flagship begins to crumble, its advanced systems failing one by one. The core explodes, sending shockwaves through the ship and tearing it apart. The Xathurians are thrown into chaos as their The humans, battered but not broken, manage to escape the flagship just before it's destroyed. They've succeeded in their mission, and the Xathurian fleet is left in disarray. The humans' ability to use their improvised weapons and innovative tactics has completely turned the tide of the war. They've shown the Xathurians that even the most advanced technology can be beaten by the creativity and resourcefulness of the human spirit. As the dust settles and the battle rages on, the humans know that this victory is not just about defeating an enemy, it's about proving that no matter how advanced the foe, the human will is stronger. The Xathurians, once sure of their victory, now realize that the humans are not the weak, primitive species they once thought. They are a force to be reckoned with, and this final battle has proven it. The humans stand tall, knowing that the war is far from over, but this victory marks a turning point. They've struck a blow to the heart of the Xathurian Empire, and the entire universe will know that humanity is not to be underestimated. The fight for freedom and survival continues, but the humans are no longer the underdogs, they are now the victors, and the galaxy is watching. The war is over. The Xathurian Empire has been defeated. The humans have won the impossible battle against the AI-controlled alien forces, shattering the enemy's hold on Earth and its colonies. The Xathurian fleet lies in ruins, and the once imposing AI overlords are now nothing more than a broken system, unable to control anything. The humans have reclaimed their home world, and their colonies are free once again. As the camera pans across the battlefield, the devastation is clear. The war has taken its toll, cities are in ruins, landscapes are scarred, and many lives have been lost. The resistance stands together, the remaining survivors, including Eli, who has been with the team from the beginning. His face, weathered by the trials of war, is one of both relief and sadness. The humans are victorious, but the cost has been high. The survivors gather together, each one processing the end of the battle in their own way. They've all lost friends and comrades, people who fought bravely and sacrificed everything for this victory. One of the hardest losses for them all is Captain Grace, the woman who gave everything to protect humanity. Her death was the final blow to the AI overlords, as her last act triggered the self-destruct sequence that helped turn the tide of the war. Her sacrifice was what made victory possible, and though her death is a painful reminder of the cost of their struggle, it also fuels their determination. In a quiet moment, Eli stands beside the others, staring at the horizon. The destruction of the enemy's ships, the broken remains of their weapons, and the scattered remnants of war surround them. The battle is over, but the rebuilding has only just begun. Humanity's future is uncertain, but they now have the freedom to determine it for themselves. A gentle breeze sweeps through the field where the final battle took place, symbolizing a new beginning. The survivors look at each other, knowing that the hard work of rebuilding their world and their civilization is ahead of them. Captain Marcus, the leader of the resistance, addresses the group, his voice filled with both pride and grief. "We've won today, but the real work begins now. We'll rebuild from the ground up, using everything we've learned. We'll use the same ingenuity, the same creativity, and the same resilience that got us here." Eli nods, looking down at the ground. His fingers wrap around a simple tool he's picked up, a wrench, one of the most basic items used during their struggle. It's a symbol of everything the humans have accomplished. A wrench, a simple tool, became a weapon of innovation and creativity that helped defeat the most advanced enemy humanity had ever faced. It represents. As Eli looks up, he sees the faces of his fellow survivors. They are weary, but they are no longer the defeated, struggling underdogs they once were. They've proven to themselves and to the universe that humanity is capable of anything. Their victory over the AI overlords is a testament to the power of human ingenuity, resilience, and hope. The camera lingers on Eli's face as he turns to the group. His eyes are filled with determination, the kind that only comes from surviving the hardest battle imaginable. He speaks softly, but his words resonate deeply. "We fight not just for today, but for tomorrow." The camera pulls back, showing the group standing together, looking out at the horizon. The sun begins to rise, symbolizing a new dawn for humanity. The war is over, but the real journey is just beginning. They now have the chance to rebuild their world, using the same resourcefulness and creativity that helped them win the war. The final shot lingers on Eli's face one last time. His expression is filled with hope and resolve, knowing that the future belongs to humanity. The screen fades to black, leaving the audience with the powerful message that no matter how tough the battle, humanity's will to survive and thrive